Hello, hello. All right. All right, let's make sure everything's running. So we're gonna go to that together. Boom. Hey, hey, hey. Well, not Minecraft. What's up? Yeah, okay. Hello, hello. We're going to be doing some more work on that plugin that we were doing. I've done some work off stream, but I've compiled a list of, let's see, of to-do items that I want to have done. And we're going to get started working on that. But first, let me get my link. Mute this guy before I start talking. Can I take that out? Okay, yes, that works. Sick, 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 sick. All right, let's get straight into it. So some of the things I wanted to get done, obviously, long-term solution, adding YML support or MySQL for storage. Originally, when I developed this, I just had it storing in memory. But long-term, I do want to have it storing in a database of some sort, either locally on the drive or in a database. So we're gonna get some work on that done, at least using a file. Because since last stream I've actually looked up how to actually do files and work with them. I've also completely reworked the messaging system, so it pulls everything from a file now, which is nice, because then it gives the server owners or admins the ability to customize it to their heart's content, which I am a big fan of. I like customization. The other thing I did, I should probably hop on another account real quick. That way I could have both at the same time. The other thing I did, why is this in full screen? Okay, there we go. The other thing I did is added a reload command. So it's just right now just bounty reload, all one word, but it reloads the configuration, messages file, everything essentially. So that'll make it a lot easier for when I'm trying to hot swap different configurations. Can you open, please? Let's just do. I don't have this one. Local host nerd. There we go. That's about my level of professionalism right there. So that's what we have for the stream. That's what I have planned here. Let's get straight into it. Let's turn this one into survival mode as well. Let's not opt. Actually, while I'm here, bounty reload. Yeah, it doesn't have access to it. That's good. I hadn't tested that yet, so I just wanted to make sure that all worked correctly and that it was permissioned off. Game mode, survival. All right, there we go. So we're gonna get started working on it here. First thing I want to do, let's start with the easier stuff first before I just jump straight into database support. Let us do... This is easy. Configure minimum and maximum values for the bounties. That's super easy. That's literally just editing the configuration file. Let's do a new one called limits here, just to keep everything organized. Let's do minimum bounty, and by default we're just going to have that as 0 because I personally don't want a minimum bounty, but some server owners may need that. And then a maximum bounty. There we go. We'll just put that. Let's do Do -1 for no max. And we might as well do the same thing for here too. So let's do bounty -1. Allows you to set a minimum bounty price set to -1 to disable. And then we're just going to copy and paste this code again for maximum bounty. Maximum. There we go. Again, set to -1 to disable. That way, if you don't want it, if you don't want the feature, it is easy to just completely disable it. Okay. Next implementation of that, we're going to go to bounty command. We're going to go and open up messages because I will need to edit this. We're going to go to bounty command. So right here where we check if the player has enough money, we're also going to check if bounty.getConfiguration or get instance actually get instance.getConfig.get boolean, and we're going to check. I should have put the config on this monitor too. Limits dot. Oh, actually, I could probably oversimplify this later, but for now, I'm just gonna do an int. Actually, double. It's all a double, isn't it? Min equals boom. I will do get double. So this one's gonna be limits dot minimum bounty, and then this one's gonna be the same thing. Min max. This one's gonna be maximum bounty. Maximum bounty. There we go. So I did not spell that correctly. Maximum bounty. There we go. So now I just pull the default values from config, and we're going to check to make sure that we are within those limits. So let's do, well, let's first check if it's -1, because obviously if it's -1, if min is equal to -1, then there's no limit on minimums. Right. So what we should do is, if it's not -1, then now we're running code knowing that it is that there is a limit. So we'll say if the amount is greater than or equal to, or no, let's just do greater than the minimum. If it's bigger than the minimum, get that stupid square bracket out of here. Then we're going to sender.send message. And then this is where I put a little bit of my message code, so I'm just going to copy paste this. Boom, boom. Bounty.get instance.get messages. This is the messages manager that I wrote up. And essentially, this is just, oh, no, I'm sorry, that's the core. This is the messages manager, and this essentially just actually creates the file. If it doesn't already exist, loads it, all that. I'm using the get message method. I wrote it myself, essentially. It just does the same thing that the getting it from that file does, but I just wrapped my own code around it, so that if it doesn't exist, the key that the key I call it, so this is the key, this is the value of that key, so every key has a value. If the key doesn't exist, let's say we asked for bounty underscore placed on me and it didn't exist, right? It's going to give an error message saying this in console and then this in chat, but it'll link back to my Discord server, which is where you can get support for all my plugins. So that's kind of how I did that, and then obviously replace color codes and such. That way you can just do your color codes in with the ampersand symbol, and then it will automatically replace it. Okay, so that's kind of how that works. We don't need any of this open, so I might as well close it. I'll keep that open. Reload command. That's another thing I added. I just showed it off. Reloads. Let's do bounty command. So we're gonna say not this error message. We're going to do, and we're gonna make a new error, essentially. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Messages. There we go. Okay, we're gonna make a new error. Error. Let's do not meet minimum. Yeah. And then while I'm here, we're just gonna do the same thing. Not meet maximum. Because that's another error message I'm gonna have to write out myself anyway. And for this, we're going to do and C. Let's do your amount doesn't meet the minimum let's do, yeah, requirements for a bounty. And then again, copy paste. I love copy paste. Your amount doesn't meet the maximum. No, that actually sounds. Yeah. I guess I could reword it in a way. I'll leave it at that for now, but then we'll reword it later. So then it's super easy. We just take the key, the name of the key, and then you're just doing bounty.getInstance.getMessages.getMessage, throwing in the key, and then if there were arguments, so for an example, this one, you received, and then it has an argument, or it has a placeholder, that's what it's called. Like hit amount and then hit target is another placeholder. Then you could put those in as well, and it'll just take it like normal. So we're gonna do your amount doesn't meet the so we don't have any placeholders, so we're just gonna do this. Boom, right? It'll send that message, and then obviously we're going to return false to stop command execution right there. So that's that one done. Let's do the same thing literally for maximum. Max, if the max is not -1, which that doesn't apply anymore because there is a limit. So if max is not -1, amount is going to be, if the amount is, oh no, hold on. If the amount is greater than, so if I have, that's not right. That's not right. It's that one. This is this one. If the amount is bigger than the maximum. There we go. Okay. Send that error message. Error, not meet maximum. Sick. And then obviously if it is -1, these try-catches, these if statements will never be touched because the computer, it doesn't match the condition. So it won't touch them. So that's that one done. I think that's literally that whole to-do item done. But we're gonna go test it real quick. Grab the server. I now run the server just locally on my computer. It just makes more sense. Bounty plus, and then stop. There we go. So that'll automatically come back up. We're gonna get our Minecraft instances back open. And we're gonna make sure that works. Boom. Boom. Alright, so let's do, ooh, what did we set the default values to? They were -1, weren't they? So let's go into plugins. Let's do bounty plus config. It doesn't have it. I just realized it wouldn't have it because I just added it and it already has a copy of the older config. So we're gonna go to configuration. We're gonna copy and paste this. because that makes sense. Okay, yeah, because everything is default. So we're gonna, for the time being, we're gonna put a minimum of $50 and a maximum of $300. And then now that I have this command, I can just do bounty reload. Boom, successfully reloaded plugin, and it just reloads the config. Sick. I love it. So now we're gonna do bounty Astrolithia. Let's do, so our minimum was what, $50, so let's put 20. Okay, so the same thing happened that happened with our configuration file. I didn't actually bring those messages over to the messages file. But on the bright side, we now know that this system does in fact work. Right? We do know that it will go to a Discord server. There it is. Sick. So on the bright side, we did test that. But on the not so bright side, I do need to bring those over. Another option I could just do, honestly, and I'm gonna do this just because it's easier, is just take this and delete it. Right? Because if I already run on a standard copy of the messages file, then it'll just regenerate the same thing with the messages I need. So that is another way to do it. Obviously, it wouldn't work if I had configured the file. But that's where most plugin developers will do like a configuration version, and that's so that their plugin knows or understands if it needs to actually update that configuration. So let's do bounty Astrolithia. Turn this down just a little bit, and I'm going to go to the next song. So okay. Bounty Astrolithia, let's do $20 again. So there it is. Your amount doesn't meet the minimum requirements for a bounty. And then the maximum is 300, so let's do 301. Oh, I misspelled that. I spelled that one correctly. I just spelled it wrong when I called for it in the code. There we go. I used an I instead of a U. So that bug's fixed. There we go. Alright, let's try it one more time. I love fixing bugs. There's that message again. It works! It works. It's not done. It's done now. Alright. Bounty Astrolithia 301. Boom, it does not meet the maximum requirements for a bounty. It's too high. It's too high. That's a good idea, actually. Let's make it tell you what the minimum and maximum are if you don't meet it. So let's say if you've put in too much, or actually, better idea. Let's give it as a placeholder to the server developer, and then I'll just change my default messages file later. So to do that, it's really easy. You just do this, and then you're gonna do, I think I remember how to do it. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so it's just gonna be whatever the placeholder you want to be is. I'm just gonna do %%. And we'll do minimum, and then you've got to give it what the minimum value is, which for me it's just min. And then same thing for here. We're gonna do maximum. This time spelling it right. What's that?
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah, what's that? Do I need to mute myself?
I mean, you can if you want to, but you don't have to. I just was gonna say that I think the person I'm talking to from that Discord server is a freaking bot.
Okay.
Because they just asked me where my profile picture is from, and it's literally my face.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, gonna get back to my stream.
Sorry.
What did I fuck up? What did I fuck up? Min, it's right here. I'm look. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. String value of, and then min. It's because we're using it as a string in this scope, but it's actually a double. Yeah. Hey, are you watching?
No, I'm not watching.
Hey, put it on in the background.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, why would I put it in the background when I can just listen to you here? Oh my god, they just said, oh cutie.
Okay, that's weird.
Ew.
String, oh, what the max? Did I just do the, okay, there we go. Sick, okay. And then we're gonna do the same thing here. And what this allows you to do is you can go into the messages file here and just put it in here. So your amount doesn't meet the minimum requirements for a bounty. How would I word that? It has to be at least. Reword this for me. But tell the player how much the minimum is. Your amount doesn't meet the minimum is okay, I guess. Let's use that. Your amount doesn't meet. Yeah. Is, and then we'll do, see, it used red and yellow. Let's do red and yellow as well. And we'll do minimum. Because then what's going to happen is this is going to get picked up. And it's going to replace it, if I spelled it correctly. Which I didn't. Minimum. I really have a problem with spelling today. Holy hell. The minimum is minimum. And then we're going to go back into red. Oop. There we go. And then same thing here. Oop. Not that. So then the maximum is maximum. Okay. That should work. Minimum, maximum. I'm throwing too many words around and my brain is spinning. I understand that I probably don't need to give this give the minimum to the maximum message, but I'm doing it just for that way both of them have access to both of them. Because you don't know. Like a server owner could be like, you know, min to max, you know, would want to make a message like that. And so it would make sense in that regard to at least give them access to that placeholder in case they did want to use it. So that is why I'm doing it. But now that I have that done, we're going to go test out that one. And then I'll probably call it good from, so let's see, configurable mix, yeah, that's exactly what I did. I'll assign it to me. And then, in progress. Progress. This is what I should have done, but I'm going to have it done anyway, so by the time I actually commit that change to the GitHub, it'll be done. So we're going to go test, and we're going to get the right copies of the files this time. I'm just going to do a clean install again. It'll be easier, some Bounty Plus. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete that, and redrag over a new copy of the plugin, and stop the server, or restart the server rather. That way it just does a clean configuration, clean messages, everything will be clean. It'll be awesome. plug in more fun features for bounties. I hope I worded that right. I probably did. Copy. Okay, we're up. We're up and running. Log in. Give that a moment so that I don't get the throttled message. Let's see. So we're gonna go to this guy. Bounty. Astrolithia. What were the default values again? I forgot. I'm doing too many things at once. Bounty plus messages. Oh, no, I don't need the messages. But it's good to know that those actually exist now. Correctly. Config. So, okay. I forgot. So let's do 50 again. 50 and 200. Bring that maximum just a little bit down. So we got those settings configured. So we'll do oh, what's it called? What plugin did I make? Hang tight real fast. All right, we're back. So what were we doing? Bounty Astrolithia. Let's see. Oh no, it's okay. We're good. We're good. All right. So, Bounty Astrolithia. That kind of threw me off. $3,000. It all won't work, and it does that. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Minimum, maximum. Huh? Placeholders. Is that using placeholders correctly? Minimum. Placeholders. Minimum. Value minimum. That's what it's pulling from configuration. Huh? Huh? Hold on, what? Pull up my messages file from the server directly. I'm gonna copy paste this because that should work. You know, I love when you're looking at everything, when you're looking at the code you wrote and you're like, this should work. That's the exact string it has. That's the exact string it has. Huh? Error not meet maximum, error not meet minimum. Key placeholders. Right? But it comes up like that. The minimum is, and then it has the placeholder. What? What the hell is going on here? Isn't this the same? So here's where I send a message to get message. What am I doing differently than I am in this one? Okay, isn't this the same as this? And then we'll toss in a copy of my sender.send message. It's the same call. Yeah. Just different keys and values. Minimum, maximum. This is what we're... Huh? What? Why isn't it pulling the data correctly? Minimum, string value, minimum. We instantiate minimum right here from bounty.get instance.get config.get double. And we're getting limits.minimum bounty. Oh, wrong one. Limits.minimum bounty 50. I mean, you're flagging it correctly, right? It is. I think it's flagging it correctly. Wait a minute. Hold on. Why is a $3,000 bounty flagging the minimum? Wait a minute. What is flagging? If max... It's flagging this call if the minimum is not -1. What? If the minimum is not... Let's do 10. That's correct. See, that's correct. That's what I expect. It doesn't meet the minimum requirements for a bounty. The minimum is $50. 60. Okay, that worked. It worked. It's $200 is the maximum. So if I do another one for 200, it'll work. Now let's do 201. Your bounty, your mount. Okay, now it's working correctly. What the hell did it have to do with? Why is 3,000 giving it a problem? Oh, it's all clicking. It's all clicking. It's all clicking in my head. I don't have $3,000 in my bank account. If I do 731, it will also flag the minimum error. But if I do 730, it will flag the normal error like it's supposed to. This is putting... So, okay, so here we go. So what's happening is some neurons are firing finally. And it's all coming together. So what's happening is I screwed that up. There it is. I figured out the issue. It's because it's trying to send the "you don't have enough money" message, but I must have accidentally changed it to the "error not meet minimum" message somehow. Plugin development with Atticus, where nothing goes right. Nothing goes right. So let's just do, we're not going to mess with any of the files, the configuration files. We're just going to give it a clean install of the plugin. And we're going to restart the server. And everything's going to work as intended. As intended. Although it did take that money. Ooh, that's another thing that could happen. What if you put a bounty on someone, you pay for the bounty, and then the server restarts? Because, I mean, with YML and MySQL, it wouldn't have a problem because the server's just going to come back online, and all those bounties that were already created are going to still be active. But, how we do it, where we handle it in memory, in RAM, your money's gone. That $750 bounty I just put on myself, I ain't getting that money back. Oh, wrong server. Yeah, see, Val. Okay, well, to be fair, yeah. So I get the money back somehow. I don't know. Wasn't my fault. What's the balance of this account? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Eco set Astrolithia. Let's give it like two grand. 2 grand, why not? That was stupid, by the way. I want you to know that. That bug that I just fixed. It was stupid. So what happened is we have as of today, I made this today. As of today, we have a file called messages, and it contains all of the messages that the plugin ever would need to send the player. It's nice because it makes it customizable for server owners and admins. They can change how the plugin looks and feels on their players and their community, right? They can change the messages, they can make it say whatever they want. Whereas the core functionality is still there. For whatever reason, and this is the call that we make to the messaging system that I wrote to get that text from the file, right? It's sender.sendMessage is Bucket's call to send a message to the player, right? But then what do we give it? We give it bounty.getInstance.getMessages.getMessage, and then we give it the key, because we work out of a key value system. Key value, right? And we get the key. For whatever reason, the call that I was making when I was trying to send the message to tell you that you don't have enough money, you're a little too broke to put that to put that hit. It was trying to make it was trying to grab the wrong message anyway. You don't understand what's going on. It's okay.
No, I don't. Okay. You speak in so much jargon. It's like when I try and talk to you about how the banking system works.
Oh, okay. Anyway. Anyway, where were we? So we need to make a way to make the player not lose all of their hard-earned cash. And I'm not gonna lie, one of the things I'm thinking about is just dropping support for just storing the hits in memory, because that would fix that bug real fast. If we forced the operators to store them in a file or MySQL. MySQL I have no clue how to make. I haven't known how to make it since I last programmed a server core for one of my own servers at least a year ago. Yeah, but oh hey, it's done. How do you strike through on Markdown? Like that. Apparently. I learned something today. So we've gotten that done. We want to do a bounty top command that shows the top bounties. And I also, one thing I didn't actually put into this list that I do want to do is I do want to make it so that it pools the bounties together. So let's say, right, Astrolithia is on the server, and let's say a lot of people hate Astrolithia, right? Player A puts $30 on her. Player B puts 200. Player C puts let's do some quick math here. Player C puts, so let's say I said 20 plus 300 plus. So player A $20. Player B $300. Whatever I said. And then player C would be $60. They're broke. What would happen is the server it'll be able to differentiate the bounties, but it will be able to also pool them together and say, oh yeah, this person's got $380 on their head. That's what I want to do, and then I want to have like a what's it called, an inventory, chests or IO. Is it just chests? Yeah. We're gonna have an inventory. It's a GUI inventory that will show the player heads of all the players that have bounties on them, and it will automatically sort that based off of the amount of the bounty, or of the pooled value of the bounties. Essentially, is what I'm saying. We're gonna pool all of them together and say, okay, yeah, this person's got $380 on their head. That's essentially what I want to do for the bounty top command. And then I did put that I wanted to do sign support, because what I eventually also want to do is let's get stripped. No, let's just do spruce. Spruce looks so nice, so much nicer, and then an oak sign. What I want to do is I want to give the ability for servers to do something like this, and then you'll be able to just do like make something look nice. and then something like that. And then what it'll do is it will do the same thing, right, that I just talked about with bounty top, but it'll be able to write that data on the signs, and then automatically sort it. The problem with that is I'd have to learn how to. Obviously, I don't have world edit on this server. I'd have to be able to get the position of these signs, save the position of these signs in the order that they are, right? And then be able to have like a bucket runnable that updates those every 5 minutes, something like that. 1 minute, you know. We'll make that configurable as well. We'll make that so that the server owner can choose whatever they want. Well, she didn't drop a head. She also didn't have a bounty on her, so obviously, no shit, she didn't drop a head. Let's get on that. So bounty top. Let's do that one. Setting a bounty top. So we're obviously going to make a new command called. Oh, hold on. Actually, I wanted to do something else. Let's do. Keep it assigned to me, actually. I want to separate or add sub-commands to /bounty. I'm going to do this fancy. Bounty. That way, it's easier. So that, because right now how I have it, right, is I have bounty and then bounty reload, but it's a separate command, right? And I don't necessarily want that. It's not a bad thing. Grief Prevention does it. They have like GP reload or something like that. But I think it would just look cleaner if it was just one command, bounty, and then you've got all your sub commands like bounty add 10 or Astrolithia $10, whatever, or bounty space reload. Right? It just makes sense. It would be cleaner. Music. Where'd you go, music? Oh, it's just the song's over. That would make sense. So let's get started. What are we going to do first? We are going to do the bounty top. So let's create the bounty top command. Oh, I see. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. Screw it. We're gonna do the sub command implementation later. Honestly, I'm just gonna write the bounty top command as its own separate command. Let's just do top cmd, and then we'll add it later as a sub command. So sender, and then args. So first what we're going to do is go into plugin, and we're going to add a new permission and a new command. Bounty top. Description, view a list of all players with a bounty. And then permission is going to be bounty dot bounty. What did I do for, I just did bounty reload, bounty dot bounty top. I'm going to reorganize those as well, completely brand new, that way, because eventually what I want is I just want like bounty.cmd.top, which I might as well just do that now. Bounty.cmd, yeah, and then same thing for this one. CMD reload, same permission, everything like that. Okay, so bounty.cmd.bounty, that's going to be given to all players, default true. Bounty.cmd.reload is obviously given to ops, and then bounty.cmd.top, and we'll do default op, or so, no, I'm sorry, default, or true, sorry, can't think today. So by default, Bucket's going to give it to everyone, but if you're a server owner and you want to take away that permission, you could do so. So we're using that permission. We're setting up the configuration for that command, and now we're gonna go and add that command. So get command bounty top set executor new top command. There we go. What's up? Wow. Wow. Do you think you could fill this up, please? I'm talking a lot, so I've not been drinking enough.
Just put water in here, or do you want another packet of flavor in here?
Give me another pack of flavor. Why not?
I think I gave you that orange one, so I'll give you orange again.
It's okay. You can mix and match flavors. I don't mind.
Okay, then I'll blindly reach.
Okay. I mean, if you have, fine. Peach,
Okay.
or what was it for? Orange?
Yeah.
Orange and
pineapple,
strawberry.
I think.
Pineapple. Yeah, that works. So, okay, top commands. I want to pull some of this code from the one I've already written just to simplify it a little for me. Obviously, you cannot run Bounty Top if you're not a player. So, if sender is not an instance of player, stop them right there. Say, no dog. That's not how that works. Sender is not a player. And then we don't require arguments, so we're not going to have to do an argument check. We're not going to have to get any targets from our arguments, because again, we don't make arguments. We're just going to make the GUI. So this is the part where I usually like to make a new sub package called GUI. And then what I'll do is I'll create top GUI. And then that is going to... So typically in the past what I've done is I have made a new class called GUI, and then this would extend GUI. That way I can have some of my methods just kind of sync throughout. Thank you very much. Oh, but we're not going to worry about that for now. We're just going to put all of our code in here because I'm not going to make too many GUIs. And if I do, I can later, change it all. And then what I'll do is I'll do public static. I'll make it a static class. Public static, inventory, get. And then if I do need anything for the inventory, because in the past I've needed like the caller of the or the sender of the command, and then I'll pass that through here. I'll take it here, and then I'll pass it through in the command. But we're not going to do any of that for now. So to make an inventory, obviously it's inventory in equals new bucket, or sorry, not new, bucket dots create inventory null. How big do we want it? We want it. Let's make it. How big is a double? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 times 9. And that's because there's 9 slots in one layer, and then obviously 6 deep. So 6 times 9 is something. 6 times 9, 54. I knew that. I didn't have to use a calculator. And then the name of the inventory, which for this we're going to let the we're gonna let them customize it again, because why not? So let's go to my messages file, and we'll do GUI top. GUI name top. Bounty top. Yeah, I like that. There we go. What's it complaining about? Typo. I don't care. Pick a color.
Orange.
Orange doesn't exist in Minecraft, so you're getting gold.
Okay.
Bounty top. Just like that. Nice and easy. And then when we're pulling that, we're obviously going to do bounty dot get instance dot get messages dot get message. just like that. And then you're going to do GUI name. I'm going to copy paste it, I'm going to be honest. There we go. That. And then did I miss one? No, I had too many. No, I did miss one. Oh, haha. Look at me. There we go. Okay, see? We have got the right amount of curly brackets. Not curly brackets, I'm sorry. Parentheses. And then we're going to return in. That way we can do any of our inventory manipulation in between here and then return it. So we're going to do a for loop. The one thing I don't know how to do is how to sort it by the pooled hit price. That's the one thing I don't know how to do. But I know how to make so because obviously I learned how to make skull items, skull item stacks when I was doing the bounty handler class. So if we're gonna move these up here because it looks nicer in my eyes. So to make a item stack, you do that material player head, and then you get the skull meta. So let's take some of that code. So we're gonna do for shoot. Does Bounties Manager have a way to dump all of them? No, it doesn't, but it will soon. Public list hits is what I called it. Get hits. And we're just going to return placed hits. There we go, nice and easy. So then you can make a call from that for hit, call it H, from bounties manager dot get. What did I miss? Didn't make it public. I didn't make it static. That makes sense. So public get hits. There we go. So we're essentially iterating through all of the placed bounties, and we're going to make him a new item. Oh, and we're also going to do int I equals 0, and that's going to be the index is what it's called, the index of the array, or I don't know if it's stored as an array. It probably is, probably isn't. But it's essentially the index, so the item number. So it's going to iterate through all of these slots, and it's going to, as long as there's a bounty, it's going to iterate through all the bounties, and as long as there's a bounty, it's going to put one at that slot. So we're going to start at 0, because 0 is this first item right here. And we're going to do item stack item equals new item stack material dot player head, and then we're going to do skull meta can't spell today equals item dot get item meta, but we're going to cast it to skull meta. Ooh, no, not skull. That's not gonna work. So now that we've got that, we can do meta dot set owning player, and then I'm gonna give it the UUID of the player that the hit is on. So you do h dot get target dot get unique ID. Yo.
How long do you think you're going to stream for?
I don't know, probably a while, a couple hours.
Because in a few minutes I would like to start cleaning, and I don't want to be too loud and disturb.
Okay. Let me go for like another, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes.
Okay.
There.
That's fine.
Sounds good. Okay. H dot get target. Okay, what does it need? It needs a offline player, and I gave it a UUID. I did not know that it needed an offline player, but that is no problem for me, right? Because I can just do new. No, I'm sorry. Bucket dot get offline player, and then give it the UUID. There we go. That shuts it up. Meta dot set owning player. So we're setting the owning player, the person whose head it is. I'm trying to pull this code back up because I closed it. I was just going off of memory. Where is it? Oh, it's here. No, it's not here. Where did I put it? Bounty handler. There we go. Okay, set owning player, and then I set the display name. That's what it was. Meta sets display name. And again, I do want to make this customizable, so we're going to go back into... let's just do the code, and then I'll actually add the message later. Unless we want to use the same message. We could use a skull item stack name. No, we shouldn't. Skull. Let's make a new one. GY skull. Target. Skull. Target. Name. There we go. Okay, and then we'll do and E. Name. Yeah, name. Well, let's do and E and B. That way it does it in bold. I'm sorry, and L. And B is Aqua. And E and L. Name. Called it GY scale. So then we're gonna go get that code again, wherever I hit it. Good question. I don't know where I put it. There it is. That works. Just take this. Oh no, just take this actually. But I'm not gonna send a message. I just had it right there. I didn't realize that I had it right there. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. We already had it. Why do I have two different ones? That's stupid. That's so stupid. No, you're stupid. There we go. Okay, thank you. GY skull. There we go. Setting the name, setting the player, and then do we just set the meta and call it a day? Yeah, you do. Okay. So head dot set. Oh, it's item. I'm sorry. Set item meta. Setting the meta. You have the head. And then normally we just dropped it naturally, but because it's an item stack that's going to be used in a GUI, we're actually going to do inv.setItem I. That's why we use that I variable, and then item. Perfect. Now we're not setting any of the lore or anything, which I'm going to do in the future, because right now it's just going to fill up an inventory with the heads of the players that have hits on them, but in the future, obviously, I'm gonna have a lore, and then that's gonna show like how much is on your head. But for now, we're just gonna test out this command. So return inventory. So what we're gonna do is in here, we're going to actually return true, and we're gonna do sender, or let's just do player. Sender, cast it to player, dot open inventory, and then this is just gonna be top GUI dot gets, like I said. So that gets the inventory. It's gonna open the inventory. It's not gonna have any inventory handler, so it is just gonna let me take the items out and kind of just do whatever I want with them. But we'll actually implement that later. Bounty top. Okay, it should work. Toss this onto the server, and we'll get going. Bounty plus, delete that, bounty plus, replace that, and do a /top. Let me start the server. Perfect. Alright, so if I do bounty top, it's not going to do anything, or it'll open it up, it'll be empty. There we go, with the message that I wanted. I like how it did the prefix too. That's kind of funny. Oh, sorry. Let's do bounty, Astrolithia, $30. You placed a bounty, you have had a bounty. Okay, sick. And then let's do the same thing again. Bounty top, and there I am. And I did not do that correctly. That's easy to fix, though. I know how to fix that. Let's do name and set that to h.get target.get name. There we go. That'll be that bug fixed. Go back to here. Bounty plus, we're gonna put that, toss that in there. Leave the messages the same because I didn't mess with them this time. While we're joining the server, make sure to like and subscribe down below if you enjoy this content. That way you can get notifications on any other streams and whatnot. Ooh, I just destroyed that. I don't need it though anymore, so it's okay. So I need to reset that bounty because I lost it. How much cash do I have left? 700 bucks. Bounty, Astrolithia, 100 bucks. And then bounty top. And it should have the name. There we go. It has the name and apparently the prefix. Okay, so I will have to fix that. Because I do not want every piece of text that I pull from the messages file to have the prefix on it. That is a easy fix, however. That is a easy fix. It is called There is a much easier way to do this. I'm trying to think about it, but I can't think of anything like quickly. So instead, we're going to copy paste the whole thing. Or sorry, with prefix. Get message no prefix. And we're just going to take the prefix. I know, that's a stupid way of doing it. You should never do this, but I will fix it later. There it is. Take that out. Just message equals base message. And then you don't even need to grab the prefix from configuration. So then in our top GUI, we can just do get message no prefix. And then I did kind of like it for the what's it called, the GUI name, so I'm gonna leave it. It gives it character. It gives it character. It gives it character. Let's rebuild. So like I said, right now, there's no actual handler, so I could just take this out, and then, oh, I didn't need to do that. And then take it out again, and then take it out again, and then take it out. Yeah, see? So it's kind of a minor dupe glitch, so we want to get that fixed pretty quickly here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually move this over to gameplay. Not before I actually make this, though. GUI. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm separating my listeners, my event handlers and stuff like that. I'm going to put the bounty handler one, which is kind of a big one. It does all of the handling of when you kill someone. Then I'm going to move that into its own sub-package called gameplay, and then I'll put the GUI ones in here. Top GUI handle listener. Implements listener. The bucket one. Event handler. Public. This is an inventory.
quick event. If ev.get is it item? That'll hopefully patch a bug that I've always had in all of my code that uses inventories. And then ev.get view.get title. It's appreciated, but we're not gonna worry about that. What's up?
It's 80.
It's 80?
Yeah. We haven't had the AC on since you started streaming. And
I know.
To get hot.
Yeah, I got cold water. You should get some cold water too.
I'm on my 3rd cup.
Keep drinking water. That's a good idea. That's very poggers. Drinking water is very poggers.
You sound like my mom. With
Drinking water is very poggers? Okay. Okay.
without the poggers.
I don't know. Anyway, ev.get title. We're gonna check if this is equals to or ignores equal. There we go. I'm actually just gonna do equals, not ignores case. If it doesn't, then we're going to return. So it stops the code execution right there. And this is where I'm going to verify if it matches the exact name of the inventory that we opened. Which, of course, is right here. And that's really easy because we can just copy-paste it. See? Look at that. Easy. Easy. Poggers. So essentially what will happen is, fingers crossed, nothing will get past these 2 lines unless it is our inventory that we care about. And they didn't just click some random spot in the inventory, because believe it or not, whenever you click here, it is still throwing a inventory click event. It is still throwing it. And it will error out if I don't have this line. So then what we're going to do is we're going to ev.set cancel true and return, because that's all we need to do. We don't need to do anything. We just don't need to. And then make sure to actually add it back into the core plugin. I'm going to rename this file, honestly, this bounty file. Yeah, I'm going to rename it. What do we call it? Let's call it BP. Bounties plus. Bounty plus, whatever you want to call it. I like bounties plus. We'll just call it BP for short. So then what we're going to do is register it, get server, get plugin manager, login manager, register events, new, top GUI listener, and then this is the plugin. Boom. So now we're going to run this on the server. And we're going to test it. Stop. Oh, okay. That's what we wanted to look for. So something went wrong. Oh, I know what it is. That's because I just refactored the main class and forgot to actually change it in the plugin. Haha, lol. BP. That's yeah, that's a really easy bug to make if I'm not careful. But I still should be watching the console for any problems. I'm confident in my programming, but you know, it is me that we're talking about, so. Starbound. There we go. Okay. So, what is it? It was bounty top. So nothing there. No errors thrown. I like that. That's all. We're already off to a good start. We're already off to a better start than I usually have when writing GUIs. Astrolithia, $20. And then we're going to do bounty top. Perfect. I like it. So you can see that it is, I'm clicking, but I'm not able to take the item out, and I'm not able to click anywhere else. That means that's working. Because it's verifying it against the file. Well, that's some weird graphics because of the shaders. That's funny. So we know that works. Okay, sick. So bounty top works. It's just not going to sort it yet. It's probably going to do it in the order that they're set up in. So I'll have to figure out how to do the sorting later. But I've at least got one part of it done. So we've added bounty top to show bounties. And this is done. And then again, we're going to do a strike through. If it's gonna let me. It's okay, I learned how to do it here. Oh, now it opened up the context menu. Okay. There we go. So bounties top is done. Ooh, I want to update these actually. So this is actually now. Let's go to plugin. Just have that open up on the second screen. Bounty. So bounty is. Ooh, where'd you go? Read me. There you are. Bounty target is actually now bounty CMD bounty. And then bounty reload is actually bounty CMD reload. And then now we've got a new contender, and that is bounty top. And this is top. This one will show you a list. Show you a list of all players with bounties. Perfect. It looks beautiful. So that's done. That's done. Realistically, they should be taken out of the to-do list. They'll be taken out of the to-do list later. We'll do it later. See, this is another thing I really wanted to do, the wanted poster. Wanted poster map art for players with bounties. I want to take that one. I really want to take that one, because I think that would be really fun to make. The question is, how do we do it? First off, we're going to make a new command, obviously. After I change the song. Oh, I like this one. After making a new command. So we'll just need to do poster. Yeah, poster command. Implements command executor. Sender cards. Because the tricky part is going to be figuring out how to make map arts with maps, but we'll figure it out. So first off, we obviously again want to run this if we're only a player. So we're just going to copy paste this, honestly. Actually, can I copy paste the whole thing, and then I'll just take out what I don't need, because that's a short plugin already, or short command already. So I can just do this, and then any other execution that we need is here. So then, let's see. We know that we want to create a map. I've got some notes here on how to do it, so that's what I'm going to be reading mostly, because typically I have no clue on how to do this, but I am going to learn. That way it'll make it a little bit easier for me to do. So next thing that we're going to do is go back to our poster command. So we've checked that they are a player, and we do want to do an arguments check this time, kind of like the bounty command. So we're going to go to that command, and we're going to pull that bit of code. So if the args, we'll just check if it's 1, because this time we only need one thing. And if it's not, then we're going to send the command usage. Return false. Bounty post. Yeah, poster command usage. And then add this to the messages file. Messages, and then this is going to be poster command. So usage, bounty, poster, player. That's all we need. I'm not showing this, I know. So bounty, poster, and then player. Obviously, we'll modify all that to work with our new system of doing subcommands and stuff like that later. But for now, that's all we need. So so we got that done. Now we need get their information. So we know offline, because it could be offline. Or targets equals bucket dot get offline player, and then we're gonna do args 0. Yeah, 0. So we know the player target. We're gonna check their. Let's do double. How would I do that? Let's make bounties manager handle that actually. Bounties manager. Get hits. Let's do public static double get pooled hit price. Yeah, and then we'll do offline player target actually. And then we're gonna say for. Go away, Creative Cloud. So for hits H from get hits, we're going to say if h.get targets.get unique ID is equal to target.get unique ID. We're going to iterate through all the hits, and if they are them, then we're going to, honestly, let's just do double price equals 0. I don't know if you have to instantiate doubles before you use them, but who knows. And we're going to do price plus equals h.get amount. That'll take whatever it has already and then it'll add it to it, if that makes sense. And then we're going to return, after we're all done with that, return price. So that's going to be the pooled hit price. So what the value of all the hits that any given player has on them. It's going to be pooled into one double, and it's going to be sent in there. Let's take a look at this. Hold on. I'm going to open it as a private window. Actually, hold on. No, I know how I'm gonna do this. I know how I'm gonna do this. First off, let's do. Let's use that new method that I just made. So top. Ooh, I don't need it anyway. It's okay. Double. Pooled. Let's call it pooled. Yeah. Bounties manager. Manager dot get pooled hit price target. Ooh, I like this one. I don't mind this one at all. So we have the pooled price that for all of the hits, and then we're going to make a oh yeah, we're gonna check if they have bounties. So if pooled, should we be able to make a wanted poster if they don't? I didn't want a poster that just says 0. You know, if pooled is equal to 0, just error out, return false. Sender send message. Error. No bounties. We'll make that in the messages file real quick. I'm gonna try to keep all of my errors together. That's kind of what I've been kind of doing. Error no bounties, and that will be that. Has no. There we go. So if they don't have any bounties, if the pooled amount is 0, we're just gonna throw that error at them and return false. But if they do, item stack, map item, or just map. Yeah, map, new item stack, material. I think it's for map. Yeah. Map meta equals map meta. And then come on. There we go. Map.get item meta, and then we'll cast it. Map meta. Very similar to the skull meta, but that way it gives us access to the metadata that a map can have. It's like, you know, scaling is set color. That way I can mess around with that. Mess around with certain metadata settings that only a map can have, which is nice. So we're gonna do let's see. Map view, okay. Map view. Equals buckets dot create map, and it's gonna be player. Oh, sender actually sender. But obviously sender is a command sender, and you need to cast it over. View dot get renders dot clear. Remove the default renders. View dot add renderer, and then we're gonna make our own renderer. It looks like. Actually, no. Poster renderer. Renderer.
There we go. Want a poster renderer. Wanted poster renderer. And then we're gonna add that. Okay. So view dot add render. New wanted poster renderer. That's gonna take a target and a total bounty. So target, and then that pooled. What is that? Pooled. Yeah, pooled. That's gonna be our total bounty. We'll probably pick up back on this next stream. Maya wants to go clean, so I'm gonna go clean. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.